The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Monday morning to you. Welcome to the show. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson is in charge of things this morning. Guarantee Bank Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text 304-935-5008. We're in the Jarrett Construction Studios, right on time, right on budget. Visit jarrett-construction.com. Phone calls to the show, a service of Guarantee Bank, 1320 Canola Boulevard East in Charleston. Guarantee Bank, your community, your bank, your story. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony Vitaylor. On Virginia Street, the end of Bolt sale continues. So the 29th, save up to 50% on select jackets and suits. And Tony's Black Label make custom garments with a variety of different fabrics. Tony also has custom shirts. Buy 3, get 1 free, or buy 4 and get 2 free, including Thomas Mason Fabrics. And ask about the Samuelson end of Bolt sale, 25 to 30% off as much as. Visit bestmastertailor.com or Tony's Facebook page if you need more information. Monday edition of the show. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We're able to successfully dodge the rain and storms. Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes says we may actually dry out this week, but later in the week it's going to warm back up. Only a slight chance of a shower today. Highs going to be in the mid-80s. Some fog tonight. Otherwise quiet, low in the upper 60s. Beautiful weather tomorrow, though. A whole lot of sunshine. Good news is, even though it's going to be in the mid to upper 80s, lower humidity will make it feel pretty comfortable. We warm into the low mid-90s toward the end of the week. You can download the Metro News television app to follow Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes and his team of meteorologists, or follow along on social media. Coming up, it's Monday, meaning we get our weekly visit from former Charleston Mayor Danny Jones. Some things in the news I want to get to, and as always, your calls and texts. Guarantee Bank Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text 304-935-5008. Welcome to the show now. Delegate Kayla Young. How you doing?
Good morning. Happy Monday. How are you?
Happy Monday, and I suppose happy birthday greetings.
Thank you. Yeah, my birthday was yesterday. Facebook had it wrong, which I got a bunch of messages today and don't have the heart to, I guess I just announced it, but... Well, thank you, regardless.
All right, thank you. It's not every day you turn 21.
True.
So keep that in mind.
Except I have more than once, so.
Okay. All right. So you took a trip to Washington, a bipartisan gathering of some legislators, I guess, of your general age group, I guess?
Under 45,
Under 45. And did I see you were on Meet the Press?
I was on Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah, it was a good time.
All right. What was that like?
It was wild. Very, very on it. They were cool. It was really,
just like this
really
show.
Interesting. It was exactly like this show, everyone.
Just a lot more production hands. You know, I have a producer. They have like a lot of other people.
Yeah, like hair and makeup. And people were like, you look great. I was like, yeah, other people made that happen. That's not what I look like, but thank you. But it was fun. It's nice to get to talk about West Virginia and the positive things that the state lawmakers get to do.
So what do you get out of this when you, and again, this was bipartisan. It was from here, it was you and Republican Andy Shamlin.
Yes, Republican Jimmy Willis, Democrat Hollis Lewis, and Senator Joey Garcia.
So I'm just kind of curious, did you all like go up together, or did you go?
We did not travel together.
See, that would have been cool, I think. Like like meeting, wherever.
It wasn't on purpose. We just had different schedules. I mean, I would travel with them.
I think if you got a van, and like a road trip, and Shamlin can make everybody sandwiches,
Yeah, I always threaten I'm going to do like a buddy comedy with Vernon and Chris, a road trip type
I think that
situation.
would be fun. So tell us about the gathering. What was it all about?
It's Future Caucus is the group that puts it on. I've been working with them for 4 or 5 years, and they're not focused on any specific policy. They just want to get together lawmakers from across the aisle who want to work together and get things done. They've actually found that folks who engage in this kind of work are a lot more effective. They get a lot more laws passed. There's 36 state chapters, and they start with the wild premise of you should have an actual relationship with someone before you start working with them. So you build trust and, you get to know people and you assume that they have good intentions, just like, you're showing up with good intentions. So you can show up like actual adults and accomplish goals for the state and the country.
Well,
novel concept. And honestly, I've had a really great experience working with them. I've had two co-chairs in the House, I guess 3 at this point. But we've gotten quite a bit of policy done. We passed a housing bill this year. We passed an AI task force a couple years ago. And they do bring in policy experts. And you don't know what party the person is that you're talking to. It just says like your name, right? It doesn't say what party you're with. We just talk about ideas. And I talk to so many people while I'm there and get great ideas for legislation that we can use in West Virginia. And I've ended up introducing and passing quite a bit of it.
That's interesting that you don't know what party the person is. How long into the conversation does it come up, or do you figure it out, or at all?
It varies. Sometimes it comes up. Honestly, it's more interesting to talk to lawmakers and be like, oh, what's the makeup of your legislature? Like, how many seats are there total? How many days are your session? We end up talking about things like how many staff do you have? How much do you get paid? Because they've also done, it's called an exit interview, report where they were like, why are good people getting out of this work? Because, public service is not easy. It pays not very well. You have to kind of have a weird job outside of it to even have the schedule to be able to do it.
Very understanding job.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're taking a risk as an employer having a public figure work for you.
Yeah,
that's not easy.
Somebody gets angry at something that you do, and if you're working, at Jones and Jones convenience store or something like that,
it's a headache.
They can say, well, because she voted this way, we're going to no longer patronize this store.
For
or whatever.
sure. And I mean, I understand why people do that. And I understand why employers wouldn't want to take that liability on when otherwise, you're not dealing with that. So it's nice to get to have some camaraderie around those sorts of things. And sometimes it comes up what party people are, but more often than not, it really doesn't.
Well, and I think that's a good thing. I really do.
Yeah, because good ideas are good, right? Regardless.
All right. You said you talked about, you told your colleagues there from around the country the good things that were going on in West Virginia. What were some of those things that you mentioned?
That housing bill that we had was great. I thought the child care bill that we had was great. I mean, most of the legislation that passes is bipartisan and really boring. It's just the really wild stuff that you see on the news that are the big fights. But we do get the good stuff done.
Yeah. Well, and do you find when you go and you're talking to somebody, let's just say Colorado, you're talking to somebody from Colorado, and they say, well, what is your relationship like with your other members of the legislature? You say, we have a good relationship. I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah. I mean, like me personally, I think I have a pretty good cordial relationship with everyone. I can call almost most of them and have a good conversation, and we get along on a lot of things. We disagree about the things we disagree about, but otherwise we have mutual respect and understanding. And I think that's how it should be. And people shouldn't be afraid to talk about that.
Delegate Kayla Young is here. It's 9:16, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Birds on the road starting tomorrow and all this week at Southern Maryland, taking on the Blue Crabs. They're back at Gomalt Ballpark next Tuesday to begin a series against the Gastonia Ghost Peppers. For more, check out dirtybirdsbaseball.com. So we get word, Delegate, Friday afternoon that after some delay, the clothing vouchers are going to be going out. Those are going to start July 20th, about 3 weeks later than normal.
Yep. We did get word from that, and we got some inkling as to it happening. Never got an explanation as to why the clothing voucher program was delayed 20 days. Still waiting on an answer.
I mean, the whole thing to me was just kind of weird, to be honest with you. I mean, because, and look, you're a Democrat, as you said, but there were Republicans. I mean, Evan Worrell was on with Talkline last week saying, hey, this was before it was announced that I guess it was sometime in the afternoon that it was announced, Friday afternoon that it was announced. And he was on Talkline, I think, Friday morning saying, what the heck? I mean, where is this?
Right. We still don't know. And like lawmakers, we can call these people and, the departments themselves, they work in the executive branch, so they work for the governor. We can call the governor's office. We haven't gotten answers. We still don't have answers. The reality is that program was fully funded as the governor requested in his budget in January. And then all of a sudden this week, once we say, where's the program? They're saying there's this massive shortfall, which is exactly what happened when he came into office. It's just like Morrissey math, just numbers coming out of wherever to say there's this massive shortfall, and it's after the fact typically. I mean, the program, I'm glad it's going to happen at all, but there's no reason it should have been delayed. We fully funded it. It concerns me with the strings he's willing to pull or the levers he's willing to utilize to overstep the legislature.
Are you going to be asking those questions? Have you been asking those questions?
I have been asking those questions. I've been calling and trying to figure out what's going on.
And you don't get a response? Or?
I don't get a response from anyone. I mean, we have subpoena power, but that has to come from the House itself, and I'm not doing that. But I hope it doesn't get to a point where the relationship between the legislature and the governor, or the House really and the governor, is so bad that that's what it comes to, because that's unfortunate. Doesn't need to be like this.
Did you get a chance to take in any of the America 250 stuff at the Capitol?
I was at Regatta, so I did not get a chance to take it in.
You didn't ride the Ferris wheel?
I did not ride the Ferris wheel. I don't like heights. That's why.
Okay.
I did hear the Obama car was out of service. It's interesting. Since I'm not joking.
Okay. Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, not joking. But it seems like the folks who went had a really great time, and it seems like it was done really well. And I would be remiss to say Chelsea Ruby does a great job at everything that she does. So I think it looks like it went really well.
Did it surprise you that Chelsea Ruby announced she was leaving? I don't know what the particulars are, so I'm just going to say she announced she was leaving.
Sure, she did announce that she was leaving. I'm sad to hear that she's leaving.
Yeah. I mean, she was, I thought she did a great job. I wasn't there. I didn't work with her on a regular basis, but she was always good to those of us in the media, you know, and
I worked with
interviews
her,
and stuff.
Yeah. I worked with her on a very regular basis, and she was fantastic.
We actually had a text to you about that and wanting to know if you had any idea as to why.
I'm not sure why she's leaving. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm very upset that she's going, and that those are very large shoes to fill.
Yeah, I mean, she killed it. I mean, she really, really did. My only conversation with her was when I learned was I just sent her a text and said, "Hey, it was great working with you." Yeah. And of course, you know, she got back to me and said, well, and she didn't say anything. She didn't give me any kind of indication. I also didn't ask. You know, I just said, "Great working with you." And she said, "You know, same."
Yeah, I reached out actually before that, because when I was in D.C., I was driving past the White House and stopped at a stoplight and looked over, and there was a bus that was like fully wrapped in West Virginia tourism, and it was just so cool to see.
Well, hopefully that'll continue. There's been a lot said lately, Delegate, about the school aid formula. Many people calling for a special session to address it. There was a very, I don't want to say contentious board meeting last week, but there were some pretty strong words from board president, state school board president Paul Hardesty, and so on and so forth. Is this something that you would support, a special session to take a look at school aid formula?
Yeah, a special session or a regular session. My caucus called for a special session, and I think we have to do something regardless, no matter what. We know this is a problem. We found out we knew before last session, but last session we had the RAND report that suggested all the changes that need to be made to the school aid formula. I think we need to take a very hard look at schools generally and sort something out, because it's not going great. We've got schools closing all over the place. Our education rates aren't what they need to be. There's a lot to do.
Well, and you're looking at the very real possibility over the next couple of years, as odd as this sounds, and TJ's talked about it a lot, that school systems are going to go out of business in the state of West Virginia. I mean, they're literally going to have a going out of business cycle.
And I mean, not just school systems, towns, city, counties, and that's not for lack of us not trying to make that happen, but it's going to happen if our population continues to decline in the way that it has. I really hope it doesn't, but if it does, yeah, we are going to have these folks going out of business. And I think there's some constitutional changes that need to happen to adjust the number of school boards necessary potentially. I don't want anyone to lose their job, but like whatever we're doing isn't working. I'm incredibly concerned that the amount of COVID funding that the schools were given led to a lot of permanent solutions for temporary funding. And it's such a vast problem that needs to be handled.
Anything else on your mind before we send you on your way today? What's keeping you busy over the next couple of weeks?
Oh my gosh, summer is keeping me busy. I'm going to paint my house, so that's what's keeping me busy. Okay. So hopefully no crises with the children of West Virginia that we have to handle, because we should be able to just function along, go along business as usual, and everybody should be able to get the services that the budget started July 1. So saying anyone's out of money at this point is a bit of a farce.
What about, are we ever going to be anywhere on foster care?
I hope so. I hope so. Hearing about another child that died in Mingo County, a few weeks ago. I don't know what it's going to take, but we've got to handle, children have to be the most important thing to all of us 100% of the time. And if they aren't, I don't know what we're doing as a society.
What color are you going to paint your house?
Dark brown.
Okay.
It's yellow right now. I just bought it a few months ago, and I was like, this house should be dark brown, and I found an old photo, and it turns out it was at one point. So,
well, good luck with that.
Thank you. If anyone wants to help, I'm not going to tell you where I live.
I was going to say, if you need any help with that, I'll send Ryan right over.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Thank you for being here. Delegate Kayla Young, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by the all-new Generations Ford of Hurricane. Visit generationsford.com. We'll take a break. Coming up a little bit later on the show, Danny Jones is here. We'll cover some things in the news and some other stuff when we come back on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
Charleston, there's a new bank in town, but it's built on something timeless: relationships. Guarantee Bank is now open on the Boulevard, bringing community banking back to the Canal Valley. We're local decision makers, real people, and a team that understands West Virginia business. Whether you're growing your company, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Stop by our new Charleston branch at 1320 Canal Boulevard and experience banking the way it should be. Guarantee Bank, where community comes first.
Adventure is boundless. Adventure is a journey that never ceases. When you hit the open road or the open water, time stops and adventure begins. From anchors away to kickstands up, a continuous tradition of adventure is the spirit that drives Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports. Featuring Segway side-by-sides for you, a co-pilot, and a compass to embark on endless adventure. Discover more at TrojanLanding.com or visit Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports in Charleston today.
According to Feeding America, over 7 million seniors nationwide were food insecure in 2022. West Virginia is no different. Hi, I'm Jason, President and CEO of Union Mission Ministries. For 113 years, Union Mission has focused on helping people in need. Right now, our senior citizens need our help. That is why Union Mission is partnering with local senior living facilities to get food delivered directly to those in need. Will you help us reach more seniors? Visit unionmission.com to learn more.
At Jared Construction, they build more than structures. Jared Construction builds legacies. Since 1999, from historical restorations to modern design builds, Jared Construction has been the cornerstone of excellence in West Virginia. Their expertise spans commercial, educational, hospitality, and healthcare projects. With a commitment to quality and a focus on your vision, they turn your dreams into reality. Jared Construction, building your future, preserving your past. Discover more at jarrett-construction.com.
WV030133.
Welcome back to the show. It's 9:25. I invite you to join me every Friday morning, 9:06 for the Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association. Brought to you by Almost Heaven Interiors. Family owned, proudly serving the community for over 50 years, specializing in custom blinds, shades, shutters, upholstery, and beautifully crafted sewn goods for homes to hospitals, classrooms to commercial spaces. They do it all. 516 D Street in South Charleston. A couple of quick things in the news, and we'll bring Danny Jones in. Both stories can be seen at the WCHS Network page, WCHSnetwork.com. When you go to the polls in Kanawha County in the general election in November, you'll be asked to renew the school's excess levy. Now, it was last on the ballot and renewed in 2022. Superintendent Paula Potter, quoted in the story we have posted at the website, says the actual wording still being finalized, but it does include funding that she says are things parents have been asking from their town halls, board meetings, improvement council meetings, et cetera, et cetera. Now, it's going to include playground improvements for elementary schools. There's also things about school security in it. Again, you can read more at WCHSnetwork.com. The board is going to go over it all at the August board meeting. The levy does not raise taxes, she stressed. Also, there's an opening, as you well know, on the county commission. Of course, Lance Wheeler stepped down to become the new director of the ambulance authority. So now Commissioners Salango and Tennant will have to decide on a replacement. And 6 people have applied, including Jared Page, who won the Republican nomination for commission in May. And of course, before he was named the ambulance authority director, Lance Wheeler had decided not to run for re-election to the commission as he's running for state senate. He won his nomination in the primary. The other people who want to be commissioner are Thomas Canterbury, George Smith, Elizabeth Standish, Jim Strawn, and George Metz Jr. So the way this whole thing worked, Ben Salango and Natalie Tennant will try to agree on Lance's replacement. And the person they choose must be a Republican, must be from the district where Lance Wheeler lived. Now, Salango has already said he's supporting Jared Page to take over for Wheeler. As part of the story, WCHSnetwork.com, he talks about Page's governmental experience as municipal judge and the vice mayor of St. Albans. And if Natalie Tennant and Ben Salango cannot agree on a replacement, then the Republican Executive Committee will have to get involved. And Ben Salango says he hopes they can make that meeting, or they can make a decision at the July 23rd meeting. If they can't, then it will go to the next meeting in August. Again, you can read more about it at WCHSnetwork.com. Coming up on the show tomorrow, we're going to talk a little St. Albans football. We mentioned this last week. The football coach there is Dan Brown, and they're in great there's a possibility they're not going to have a season this year because of the lack of players that have shown an interest in playing. They're going to have a community meeting Wednesday night at St. Albans High School, so we'll talk to the coach about that. And Bill Lynch from the Gazette-Mail is going to join me on the show tomorrow. Coming up later today, Metro News Midday, 13 News, and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barrett and me. Wheeling Mayor Denny Magruder is going to stop by. More the death, of course, of Lindsey Graham. TJ will join us to talk up his commentary. It's a good one. You can read it at WVMetroNews.com. or on our social media pages. It has to do with the civility or lack of following the death of Lindsey Graham. Jeff Jenkins will have the news. Christy Skidmore from Education West Virginia is here. And, of course, Open Line West Virginia. Metro News Midday, 13 News, and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barrett and me coming up at noon today, powered by Salango Law. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Husson's Pizza. A Husson's July special: buy any regularly priced large 18-inch pizza and get a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi for free, or your favorite Pepsi product. Check out HussonsPizza.com for more information. Who's here? It's Danny Jones. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. Can I tell you a little story about the county commission?
You can tell me many stories.
When Dave Hardy got appointed to the county commission, you had two commissioners who disagreed, Hoppy Shores and Kent Carper. Carper picked Hardy. Hoppy Shores picked Ike Smith. And they flipped a coin. That's how it happened.
That's how they. Yeah, I mean, I guess they could do that. I mean, but if they can't, if they can't do that, then it will go.
Why?
Well, I mean, maybe they. I mean, if they're going to flip a coin, I think Salango and Tennant would have to agree to flip a coin. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. I don't know. I
thought that was the procedure.
No, it goes to the executive committee. I mean, they could agree, I guess, to flip a coin or have a foot race or arm wrestle or something, I guess. Dance off, I don't know. But that's what they're doing. How's California?
Oh, gosh, wonderful.
One of these days, when I do these phone calls and you're in California, which, by the way, big props to you, because when I put you on the air, like right now it's 6:30 in Cal. I know you're an early riser, but a lot of people are early risers, but they're not early talkers.
Now it's fine. I'd been up and having coffee.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that because you're always an early riser. But one of these, I'm afraid that one of these times I talk to you on a Monday, that the next Monday or over the weekend you're going to text me and say, I decided to stay. I'm not coming back.
No, that's not going to happen.
Really?
Well, no, my boys are here.
Yeah, that's true. I understand that.
I mean, I've got an apartment here and I've got an apartment there. I mean, I've got a condo there, but I've got an apartment here. And
doesn't it get a little, I mean, because what do you go, like once a month maybe, something like that? Or do you go that often? Or
a lot.
Okay. I was going to say, doesn't it? So you fly.
Got to keep it under 180 days or I become a citizen.
Okay.
A resident, and then I have to pay their taxes.
Yeah.
It's a $2 deal out there. Everything's $2 more. Gallon of gas, 6-pack of pop. I mean, it's just everything's more expensive.
You told us last week that you won your car show. You still thumping your chest about winning that car show?
That was fun.
Yeah.
There were 28. It was 4th of July. There were 28 trophies. 25 of them were just trophies. 3 were plaques with cash. And I got the People's Choice Award.
Yeah.
So.
Does that make you a big man around the compound that you have there?
No.
Perhaps you've heard of me. Well, you probably do that anyway.
Nah, everybody knows that car.
Yeah.
They,
it's a unique car. I mean, to me, even by California. I mean, because you see, I have never been to California, but what I have read about it, what I've seen, you know, it's not unusual because of the weather. It's not unusual to see really nice older cars out on the road. We wouldn't do that around here with the potholes and the winters we have and whatever. But out there, you'll see some, and so. But I would say that Cadillac really sticks out there.
Downtown Seal Beach has a car show in April every year, and they have 600 cars, and I believe it's already full.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me. It was sold out, I think.
I believe it is. Because by that time, my Nomad will be out there.
Okay. Now, that one will have some eyes on it. I mean, yeah, the Caddy does, but the Nomad will really have eyes. Even by California standards, that's got to be a little bit rare.
Well, you see some Nomads out there.
Do you really?
Yeah. None with black vinyl top and a luggage rack.
Now, for those who are listening right now, they're saying, what the heck is a Nomad? Explain what the Nomad is.
It's a two-door Chevy station wagon or Pontiac Safari station wagon that has a curved post. In other words, I don't know how to describe that. It's a two-door station wagon with a curved post.
What year is it?
56. I've owned it. I owned it when I was 18 years old.
Yeah. And didn't you go buy it back?
I bought it out of Robert's estate. He let it sit for 40.
That was your brother, right?
Yeah, he let it sit for 40 years.
Right.
And it's going to cost me probably a deuce.
Yeah.
To redo it.
So what all has to be done to it?
Everything.
Everything, basically. It's almost like you're building a new car.
I mean, there was a rat inside the engine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it was that crawled up to the header pipe. See, that car had fender well headers, it had traction bars. I used to race the car.
Yeah.
So, but it's the frame's been, the body's been off of it, and the frame was surprisingly in great shape.
That's the way they used to build cars.
Yeah.
To last.
Yeah.
I may have asked you this before, but have you ever been to the West Virginia Drag Racing Hall of Fame in Winfield?
I'm a member.
Okay, because a couple of weeks ago,
I've never been, but I'm on the wall.
Okay, that's right. But I actually saw your name last month. We did on 98.7 The Mountain. We did a car show over in Winfield, myself and Shockley, and he had never been in there. And so Randy Barrett, is the good buddy of mine, the mayor of Winfield, and so it's in City Hall. So I asked Randy if he would give Shockley a tour over there, and we did see your name on the wall. It's really cool. If you get an opportunity, go check it out.
Well, and that's where we used to race. If you go down I think it's 34.
Yeah.
Out of St. Albans.
It is.
And there's a logging outfit right there on the left. That's where Winfield Drag Strip was.
Yeah.
And that's where I used to race.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
It was 1969. It was quite a summer. I raced early, like in April. One of my first races, I was racing a guy, and he lost control of his car and got killed.
Yeah.
And I won 6 trophies that year, and it was quite an exciting year. And then I was working at the filling station, and the filling station kind of closed in September, and they were going to get new owners, and that's when I was drafted. So I had a couple months to piddle around.
Good times in the summer of '69, right?
Oh, it was great. It was really exciting. I mean, I built an engine in my garage, and I moved it around in a wheelbarrow. Okay, and I had a chain fall and an A-frame. An A-frame. You put a chain fall, you hook it on there, and then you hook the chain fall into the engine, and then you pull it up. And then you move your car under it.
Yeah.
So you can put the engine in your car.
Right. Slides right in there.
Yeah. And you put go ahead and put the bell housing and the transmission on, put it all in once.
Talking to Danny Jones of the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I want to get your thoughts on the death of Lindsey Graham.
They go back to 98. That's when I first became aware of his existence. There was a House Judiciary Committee, and they were impeaching President Clinton. Mm-hmm. And he was a standout.
They call them managers, right? That's I learned.
No, but that's over in the Senate.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
He was just a member.
I got it. Okay.
But he was the best Republican. Asa Hutchinson wasn't bad either, but Lindsey stood far and above. Now, on the Democrat side, they had a guy named Howard Berman. He was a Democrat, and he wasn't. Everybody was yelling at everybody. Yeah. But Howard, like the Republicans, would direct stuff at him because he was very reasonable. He disagreed, but it was very reasonable. Probably the way politics should be. But Lindsey, when he would cross-examine people, I mean, he was unbelievable. And
he was an attorney by trade. He was in the
that's correct.
He was in the Air Force, and he remained in the Guard for years after that. And he was JAG.
He was in the JAG Corps.
Yeah,
and he was. He would talk about representing people. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll listen to him talk about that. But his life story is very compelling. Mm-hmm. Born in the back, I believe, of a liquor store, and his parents died when he was in his late, like 18 or something.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
He had a 12 or 13-year-old sister, and he had to raise her.
Yeah, while he was in college. He was in college.
And he raised her on Social Security money. Mm-hmm. And he was always grateful to the country for that reason. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if his sister's still alive.
She is. They have referenced her, a lot of the statements that have gone out. I cannot, I'll look it up during the break, I cannot think of her name right now, but they referenced them. People said thoughts and prayers go out to Lindsey and the sister because they were so close. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people thought they were, husband and wife, but Lindsey, I don't think, was ever married, and he didn't have any kids.
He wasn't married.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. All right, I got a couple more Lindsey Graham questions I want to ask you, and we'll do that when we come back. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants, helping to identify environmental concerns like asbestos, lead, mold, and indoor quality issues in buildings all across the state, providing inspections, testing, and accredited lab services you can trust. Check out pinnaclecorp.net, helping you understand your environment, because what you don't know can hurt you. Guarantee Bank Hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor, text 304-935-5008. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you a physical therapy assistant and looking for an opportunity in orthopedics, wellness, and athletic care? If so, Generations Physical Therapy is offering flexible work hours and an upbeat atmosphere. With 7 convenient locations, Generations may have a job designed for you. Visit generationspt.com.
Retirement isn't a finish line, it's a new beginning. But are you really ready? I'm John Burdett with 4th Avenue Financial, and I help people just like you turn confusion into confidence. Whether retirement is 5 years away or right around the corner, now is the time to make a smart plan. Let's make sure your retirement income lasts as long as you do. Call today or visit 4thavenuefinancial.com. 4th Avenue Financial. Retirement done right.
Securities offered through J.W. Cole Financial Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through J.W. Cole Advisors Incorporated.
You may think speeding a little isn't really speeding, but even a few miles over the limit has consequences. First, there's the fine. Your first offense could cost you $100 plus court costs, and you'll pay a lot more if it's your second or third offense. Eventually, you can lose your license or even go to jail. And those are minor consequences. Speeding causes 10,000 deaths each year. So next time you think a few miles over isn't a big deal, think again. This message is brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
At Poca Valley, your savings deserve Simply More. The Simply More Money Market is designed for people who want growth, flexibility, and convenient access to their money when they need it most. Whether you're building your savings or planning for the future, Poca Valley is here to help you make the most of every dollar. Ready to learn more? Visit PocaValleyBank.com, call 844-782-2651, or stop into your nearest Poca Valley branch today. At Poca Valley, relationships matter. Member FDIC.
Take a little trip to New Orleans without leaving Charleston. Bourbon Street Bistro is this week's 50-50 Friday. From rich sauces and slow-simmered stocks to authentic po' boys and fresh Gulf redfish. Everything at Bourbon Street Bistro is made from scratch. Now open at 714 Lee Street East in downtown Charleston. Friday at 9 a.m. Go to WCHSnetwork.com and click the 50/50 Friday button to get 50% off gift certificates for Bourbon Street Bistro, courtesy of the WCHS family of networks.
18 minutes away from 10 o'clock, Logan Regional Medical Center celebrating their 100th anniversary with a free concert party and get-together Saturday, August 8th at Logan Football Stadium. Gates are going to open up at 3 o'clock. Come enjoy the music of Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder, America's Got Talent winner Landau Eugene Murphy Jr., the Davison Brothers Band, Del Nora, Motown Legends, the Voices of Classic Soul featuring former members of the Temptations, the Four Tops, the Drifters, and more. The Mountain Stage Band and a whole lot more. Totally free. That's a cool thing about it. Totally free. There's going to be food, fireworks, and more, and I am going to be serving as the MC. So I look forward to seeing you there. If you need more information, you can visit the Logan Regional Medical Center Facebook page. Danny Jones is here. Guarantee Bank Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony V. Taylor text 304-935-500. Text says, Florida guy here, Dave. This is about we were talking about the levy earlier. They always say these school levies that your taxes will not go up if passed, but they never say your taxes will go down if it's not passed. West Virginia losing students by the hundreds, and no excess levy should ever pass. Text the best.
Is that guy an expert on schools?
I don't know.
He must know a lot.
I don't know. Text the best moment of Lindsey Graham's professional career was the staunch, unapologetic defense of Brett Kavanaugh against the just nasty smears and hate-filled personal attacks he endured.
You know, the stuff they had against Brett Kavanaugh happened when he was 17 years old. Mm-hmm. And the young lady was 16. I don't know if it happened or not. I don't know. I'm not taking sides.
Saturday Night Live a couple of weeks ago back in the season ended, I guess, in May, but I'm a little behind on watching things sometimes. They did an absolutely hilarious skit of they had the actor Matt Damon, who was playing Brett Kavanaugh, and they had the Colin Jost, who's the guy that does Weekend Update, who does a great Pete Hegseth. And then they had the guy, and I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he was on the show Parks and Rec, and he was playing Kash Patel. And they were in a bar doing shots, and it was so over the top. It was really funny. It was really funny. You know, going back to Lindsey Graham, Danny, he had a very interesting relationship with President Trump. You know, at one point he called him a kook and unfit to run for office. He said on January 7th, you know, the day after the 6th, he said, count me out of all this. But then he goes on to be his BFF and his golf buddy and everything else.
Well,
that's politics.
Lindsey always had a man, even though once it was a woman, that he would hang around with. And first it was John McCain.
Yeah, he and McCain were very close.
And then it was Joe Lieberman.
Yeah, they called the three of them the Three Amigos.
But then they left. I mean, at different times, but they left. You know, when McCain got nominated in 2008, he wanted Joe Lieberman to be his running mate, and it would never worked. He picked Sarah Palin, and didn't go very well, but she didn't pick them. They picked her. Yeah. They called her at the Alaska State Fair to ask her if she wanted to be vice president. And
do you think McCain would have done better had he had a stronger vice presidential running mate?
No, he wasn't going to win.
Yeah,
not then. The country was in too much trouble. It was people were spoiling for the change, and he had the right guy on the Democrat side. You know, Obama was a good candidate.
Yeah,
and you had, and then he hung out with Kelly Ayotte, and then she got beat in New Hampshire. But he's always had somebody he kind of hung out with.
That's
and I think
politicians are regular people. That's what they do. We hang out with them.
Yeah, and then it was President Trump.
But he did that after. You know, they had all of the issues because, really, he called him a kook and Trump said bad things about him. But I know it's politics. And
well, he is a kook. He's a draft dodging kook.
But they were able to mend fences, I guess. And
I don't think they ever mended fences. I just think things evolve.
Yeah.
You know,
possibly. We had just come back from Ukraine, and he made several. I mean, that was Lindsey Graham's strong suit was foreign policy, and much to a lot of people's chagrin because they thought he was a little bit too much of a hawk. But he had just gotten back from Ukraine, and then I guess the story is Saturday evening they were dispatched to his home. Looks like it was a heart issue. That led to his sudden
same
death.
thing that's happened to his dad.
Yeah. Oh, is it? I did not know that.
And The Guardian, there's a magazine called The Guardian, and I was looking through stuff this morning at 3:00, and The Guardian had a thing on there. You know, a lot of these headlines. It said Graham's left a trail of blood with his support for Israel and Ukraine, but they took it down. Mm-hmm. They took it down.
It was they were the ones that said that?
Guardian, that was one. They had several headlines about him,
right?
But they took that one down. And I think from where I sit, he occupied a lot of space. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a term I learned when political science class from Gerald Beller. Politicians occupy space. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a TV set. Well,
but there are those that are always in the news, whether they don't necessarily have to be a House Speaker or Senate President or to bring it locally. It's just there are those that are always in the news and they're always out there. And then there's other ones you just don't hear from at all.
Yeah. Now, some of them, because of the nature of their position, mm-hmm. like Schumer or John Thune.
Yeah.
You know, or when Boehner was Speaker.
But there's just some, I think, that the cameras just like and that the media likes because, I mean, you know, doing what we do for a living, you can't interview everybody and you want to get the best soundbite. You know, who's going to give you the best soundbite, whether it's Republican or Democrat?
Senator Graham was very accessible and a very nice person. And I was flabbergasted.
Did you ever meet Lindsey Graham?
No, but I posted a picture of my son, met him in an airport. Mm-hmm. And Jarrett's mother and Jarrett approached him. And you can see it. It's on my Facebook page. Mm-hmm. And he was very nice. Mm-hmm. And he stood behind Jarrett, held his thumb up, right. And Jarrett was sitting down, he was standing up, and it was just a very nice thing to do. He didn't have to do that.
Text says, if you're one of these despicable people who are just giddy over or celebrating the death of someone you hate just because they don't think like you or hold the same views as you, that tells the world a lot more about you than it does about him. And blank the whataboutisms. Those who try that are the very same who cheered when Trump was shot and Charlie Kirk was assassinated. This is why the divide will never mend.
Well, there are people on both sides, I might add, that feel that way. And some people cheered Charlie Kirk getting shot.
Yeah.
And there's some people that are just itching for Mitch McConnell to die.
Yeah.
And I hope he doesn't. I hope he finishes his term.
And I will say this, and I somewhat agree with what the texter said, but I did this thing last night on and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in Metro News Midday. I'm done with social media. I mean, I did a post on my personal page last night and said I'm done. I mean, I'm going to continue the Dave Allen radio page for news, and I'm going to continue my X page, but it's all station related. I am not doing anything. I'm not scrolling comments anymore. I'm done with social media after yesterday. And my point was, and I had somebody that said, well, this is, you don't see Republicans doing this when Democrats. Yeah, they kind of do. Do you remember the horrible things that were said about Michelle Obama? And I'm not talking about performance of Barack Obama. I was one of his biggest critics and policy-wise continue to be today. Okay. But it is both sides, and both sides are toxic as hell. And I want no part of it. I'm done.
Well, on Facebook, you're done?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, I like Facebook, but see, I don't do much politics on Facebook. And I remember when I posted a thing about Moore becoming U.S. Attorney.
Yeah.
Shelley's son.
Mm-hmm.
There were two people and one of them you know very well, who just got on there and just went crazy, and I just blocked him. Mm-hmm. And I blocked that one person, I blocked his phone number. I don't ever want to talk to him again.
Let me do this. I got a couple texts to get to about Lindsey Graham and more with Danny Jones. We'll take a break, come back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses bring first-class businesses to your community.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes
and fight to get all your fees back.
And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpractice your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Hey, this Saturday, the WCHS Network, V100, The Beat, The Mountain, Superstar Country, KWS, 95.3 KZ. All of us are going to be hanging out at Trojan Landing Marina Power Sports for the grand finale of our Ride and Riches contest. We're going to see who's going to win this new Segway UT6M machine and $1,000 in cash. We'll be calling all the finalists this week, but even if you're not a finalist, join us Saturday morning starting at 10 because we're giving away all kinds of other cool prizes basically every 15 minutes or so. Saturday, Ride and Riches Trojan Landing Marina Power Sports starting at 10. We hope to see you there. And if you are a finalist, you do have to be present to win. Danny Jones is here. Text says, seriously, Obama was such a great candidate? ? I mean, promising to fundamentally transform America. And what do you know? Here we are 18 years later, and we're seeing the Marxist fruits of his labor taking over.
That was too deep for me.
Okay.
That's just too deep.
Text says, we were not itching for Mitch McConnell to die. We just want an honest report on his condition. As a texter.
Well, you don't speak for anybody but yourself, whoever that is, because there's a lot of people wanting to die.
Yeah. Well, I just saw the picture.
And that Kentucky governor ought to keep his mouth shut.
Andy Beshear?
Yes.
Why? Why do you think?
I demand to see a report on his condition. We just shut up.
Text says, Dave Lindsey Graham was a true patriot. Did a lot to strengthen this country, always spoke his mind, and will be sadly missed.
I agree with that completely.
Here's the thing I think we've lost sight of, Danny. I think that we've lost sight of whether you agree or disagree with somebody, you can't appreciate their service, okay? I had a lot of issues, and I was a younger person when Robert Byrd was in office. I had a lot of issues with Robert Byrd, but I appreciated his service to the country.
Sure.
I can appreciate Democrats. I can appreciate liberal Democrats, conservative Republicans for serving and doing what they think is right. I caught a lot of flack from my buddies in the coal industry because I was steadfastly 100% against Barack Obama because solely on his status on coal. I mean, I'm from southern West Virginia. However, I have said I don't think that Barack Obama was a bad person.
No.
I just disagreed with his policies.
He's a great guy. He's a ditty bopper. The way he walked, he bounced when he walked. But I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. Maybe it's about Sarah Palin. I wanted to say a game change is on one of the platforms. It may be Prime or it may be Netflix. And it's about the 2008 election. And it's mostly about the McCain side. And it is not kind to Sarah Palin.
Really?
Not at all. And she was not invited to his funeral. She did not ask to be a candidate. She was up there, had a 80% rating as governor of Alaska.
But she could have said no.
She should have. But He romanced her, took her to his place, and they talked and walked.
When you say romance, you don't mean literally romance.
No.
Okay.
He romanced her candidacy.
Right, yeah.
She didn't ask for that.
Right.
I think it cost her marriage and everything. She's dating some guy now, and I hope she's happy.
She should be dating you.
Well, that could be fun.
You could just tell her, I used to be famous. You show up in Anchorage or Fairbanks or wherever it is that she's from, rolling up in that Cadillac.
I don't think she's living there now.
Oh, okay.
Is Bill O'Reilly working for
News Nation?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's an employee.
Well, I don't know if he's an employee. I haven't seen his taxes, but I mean, he does frequent hits, as we call it in the business, on here. He's on here a lot. He's on with Cuomo a lot.
You know who I was glad got beat?
Who's that?
That woman that was just on that television.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Nancy Mace.
Oh, Nancy Mace. Well,
she voted against Kevin McCarthy being speaker.
Was there some? Did I just? TJ, you can weigh in on this. Did I hear somebody saying that Nancy Mace's name was being thrown around as a replacement?
Well, you throw it around. She's not going to replace him.
She's considering running. Yes.
Is she running?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Texas Mitch McConnell isn't allowed to die during an election year. Trump will appoint Don Jr. to fill his Senate seat anyways.
Trump doesn't get to make an appointment. Mm-hmm. So Don Jr. got involved in our governor's race. That's why we have the one we have now.
The one we have now.
Truthfully.
Oh, I'm aware.
Because Moore, Shelley's son, was pulling ahead in the polls.
You were gone, I guess, and were you in California on the 4th? Were you actually in California then? So you missed everything on the Capitol lawn here. You missed a Ferris wheel. You could have ridden on a Ferris wheel.
Good. I didn't want to go down there.
Danny Jones, appreciate you.
I want a car show that day.
I know you want a car show that day. Everybody knows you want a car show that day.
Okay.
TJ, what you got, man?
Amelia Nicely coming up at 10:06. Her story on the WVU Washington Center and lack of enrollment. Plus, we'll talk TANF. Scott McFarland from Washington at 10:33. Michelle Stellato, Roane County Superintendent. Talk about turning it around. They have done that in Roane County. We'll talk with her. Brad McElhenney joins us at 11:33.
All right, coming up on this show tomorrow, again, we're going to talk about this St. Albans High football situation with head coach Dan Brown. Bill Lynch from the Gazette-Mail is going to join us. Interesting guy, and he's been doing a really interesting series of interviews in the paper, just random people out on the streets of Charleston and just telling their stories. I think it's pretty good. He's going to join us on that. I'll see you later today on Metro News Midday. Till then, have fun. I love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston, 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.